Hello, happy people. My name is HappyDays, and welcome back to our Hearthstone Arena series. This series is all about bringing up your average arena wins to a good, respectable level, where you're pretty confident at least getting 5 and 6 wins each arena run. This series is going to teach a few key aspects of arena play, such as mastering your mana curve, and knowing which minions to draft for each class, and making sure you get a solid early game by having plenty of 2 and 3 drop minions, good middle game, and a good amount of late game minions. We're also going to go through which classes are good to play and the different abilities of each one. I'll also just be giving little tips on different battle cries the minions have as we play. Out of these three, we've just done a rogue series, so I think I'll highlight the Paladin today.
I will fight with honor.
And as always, I'll give a bit of commentary behind my decisions as I draft each card. This one's out of Faceless and Big Game Hunter. Big Game's a great utility. I tend not to play it as a 3-drop. I keep it for late game where you can take out those legendary or really strong minions. I'm going to pick Faceless Manipulator. I love its battle cry, especially when an opponent has a great taunt or a great legendary. You can quickly copy it. Okay, Stranglethorn over these two garbage. Okay, a lot of secrets I tend to not use in my arena play. I see a lot of secrets in arena play, though if you read a lot of guides, don't forget Trump's guide on arena draftings in my description. A lot of pro guides tend not to use secrets much. I'm going to pick the Kobold for a good 2-drop. Okay, this is between the Amani and the Frost Elemental. They're both average cards. I think I will go with the Amani. Okay, Argent Protector is a great one. Remember, Arena is all about minions having more abilities. So Bloodfen is quite a good pick, but I'm going to pick Argent because it also has Divine Shield, which pretty much, if you play it at the start of your hand, you can get another minion to get a free hit in. Mad Bomber is a solid 2-pick. Harvest Golem, because I have no 3s yet. Light's Justice seems like a good weapon to get, although it only does 1 attack, so I'm going to pick the Loot Hoarder over it. I will take Bloodfen, it's quite a highly rated too. Okay, our Sword of Justice is one of the high ranked weapons for Paladin. Every time you play it, one of your minions gets 1/1. I find using it as a 3-drop can really give you a solid early game. I will take 1 Blessing of Wisdom. Okay, not the best cards. I tend not to like cards that buff too much because then you're using 2 cards for 1 play, and if it gets taken out by a removal, you've lost 2 cards in the trade. I find Divine Favor not that useful. I don't like to get top decks when I play, so I'll take Blessed Champion. Guardian of Kings is a great card in Paladin deck. I've seen some players take 3 or 4 of them and just have an insane amount of health. I do love my Worgen for my 1-drops, but I'll take the Guardian. Scarlet Crusader, solid 3. Razorfen over the other garbage. Delaran Mage over the garbage. Frost Elemental over the garbage. Fairy Dragon is a great 2-drop. It can't be targeted by spells, so it's great against mages. And Dark Iron's Dwarf, I have no 4s, and it's an excellent 4. This is probably between Ravenholt and Injured Blademaster. I have enough 2s now. Even though it has a good attack boost, it's not really enough to make a difference and usually gets taken out quite quickly. I'm going to take the Ravenholt. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 if you count Faceless, but it's situational. I'll take Ravenholt to get some late game. Silverhand Knight is an excellent 5. I don't have many 4s, so I'm going to take Dragonling. Blessing of Kings is an excellent 4-drop. Used at the right time, you can really turn the tide of a game. Although, just note that once you use this on a minion, it's going to be high priority for removal spells. Earthen Ring is a fantastic 3. Just a reminder on mana curve. As I've said before, you want your 2 and 3 drops to be the highest, gradually going down towards your late game. I wouldn't mind another one drop, so I'll get a Worgen if I can, and probably a few more 4s. You tend not to want as many 5+ mana cards because you generally can only play one of them each turn. You can usually chain several lower costs together. I will take the Scarlet. It's an excellent 3. I finally get my Worgen, although I do want the Gnomish for the card draw. Card draw wins games, as Trump would say. Another Blessing of Kings. I wouldn't take any more than that because, as I said, you tend to make minions high priority for removals. I'll take a Razorfen over the other 2. I'll take a Light's Justice just to even out my 1s. And I'm so glad this has come up. Stampeding Kodo is an excellent card. I tend not to play it on a 5-drop unless I can use its Battle Cry straight away. It's great against the 2/7 Berserker that a lot of mages use. It takes it out instantly, and a lot of 2 attack minions as well. Okay, not a bad Paladin deck. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 late games. Remember, don't count spells when you're counting your early and late game. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Quite a solid early game, and the Sword of Justice is an excellent weapon to get for Paladin. Let's see how we go. I'd like to think I'd get at least 4 or 5 wins with this deck. And I finally have got my editing skills up to scratch, so I'll probably start to edit out things like this waiting, finding opponent part. I know, it's a bit sad. Try and be strong. Try and be strong for me. Although I probably won't leave this bit out, because I probably won't edit this out, because obviously I'm explaining. You get the idea. You get the idea. You understand. Let's see who we're up against. Okay.
Versus Valera.
Watch your back.
I will fight with honor.
So remember, when you're doing your Mulligan, which is picking a starting hand, you tend not to want any minions over 5 mana if you can help it. That just simply because you won't get to play them for a while. And excellent. That's a really solid start. Strangely enough, I tend to play Blessing of Wisdom on my opponent's cards.
Well met.
Because you still get the card draw when they attack. Blessing gives you a card whenever the minion attacks.
The pleasure is mine.
It kind of messes with their head, if that makes sense to you. So if you put it on a strong minion, it makes them not want to attack with it, and they tend to throw it away really easily. Try it out sometime. I'll probably do it this game, if I get a reasonable minion to play it on. I don't really want to play my Mad Bomber, because I prefer to use its Battle Cry to take out other minions. I could coin up to a Harvest here and save. I think I will. And that leaves me 3 mana next turn to use Blessing and my hero ability Reinforce. The good thing about playing a rogue, even though they can take out my Reinforce minions really easily, she tends not to have too much area of effect magic, which means I can flood the board a bit more. Okay. So I'm not going to play Blessing of Wisdom this turn, because both these minions can die to each other in one hit. So instead I will play... This is a good time to try Mad Bomber. It can hit stealth minions.
Wanna blow something up?
Ooh. Almost. And should I play Blessing on my Goblin? I could do that. I'll save it for a bit. So unfortunately, it didn't hit both, but it's good to know any area of effect magic will hit stealth minion. So probably one of the best tips I can give you in the early game. And that's why Mad Bomber is such a great tutor. This is why minions with battle cries are so good, and death rattles. So even though he just used 2 attack on my harvest golem, and I still have a minion to show for it. So I'm going to trade this for the panther. I think I'll go for card draw early and play my gnomish. Beautiful.
Job done.
Dark Iron Dwarf is great to play at the start of your turn and use its battle cry to buff one of your other minions, especially if you're trying to take out something and you don't quite have the attack.
Ready, sir.
So for example, playing Dark Iron Dwarf into Gnomish will give it 4 attack, which can take that out. So I'm trading a card that's not really that useful for one that it can do a bit of damage. If I played Stampeding this turn, it would destroy the Squire, but then I'd have to kill these 2 minions to take out this one. So I'm going to play Dark Iron Dwarf.
You call that a weapon?
Hey, give me a minute. Yeah, you got it.
The reason I did that is because I've kept board control, so I have 1 minion and she has none now. I'm feeling like playing Blessing of Wisdom on the dwarf next turn, and that might force her to use an assassinate on it, which would be good.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay. This is a time when Crazed Alchemist would come in handy. It swaps the attack and health of a minion, and I would chain Crazed Alchemist into Stampeding Kodo if I had 1 more mana. Let's see. I could buff the dwarf into an 8/8 and use Blessing of Wisdom. Try and force out that assassinate. I could flood the board a bit with weaker minions. So use that and that. What to do? I don't really have an effective way to get rid of the Scarlet Crusader's shield at the moment. That's actually a good card.
Let's move quickly.
Dragon Wing. Take that. And I'm going to bless the Scarlet Crusader. So now I will get 2 cards out of their Scarlet Crusader. So most people bless their own minions with Blessing of Wisdom. I always bless the enemy.